On June 10, 1944, 3 columns of Nazi troops descended on the village of Distomou in central Greece. They were executing resistance fighters when they were attacked from the hills. Thanos Bouras was working in his father's fields when it happened.
The German commander was shot and died here. As he lay there, a woman from the village brought him water, and she heard him give the order to kill everyone except her.
What followed is one of the most infamous Nazi atrocities in Greece. Soldiers went from house to house, killing. Angelos Kastritis was 8. His mother told him and his father to leave home, thinking women wouldn't be harmed.
When I returned, I first saw my grandfather. The back of his head was gone, and his brains had been splattered against the staircase. My grandmother was seated next to him, dead. Inside the house, I saw my mother. She had baked all the loaves she had needed that morning, except one. She had her hands above her head. They had killed her execution style from behind. Her blood stretched in a line several yards long.
For the loss of both life and property, Greece sought $17 billion pre-war dollars at the Paris Peace Conference in 1946. It was awarded $7 billion and has received almost none of that. Greece lost 500,000 people in the war, 7% of its population, but only about 30,000 of those were killed in combat. The vast majority were the victims of massacres like that at Distomou, mass executions and starvation. Occupation here proved harsher than the battlefield. One of Greece's top 3 courts is now consolidating Greece's demands. They include damages for the occupation, repayment of 2 loans the Nazis exacted from the Bank of Greece, and the return of stolen antiquities. The amounts are expected to run into the tens of billions of dollars. The head of the National Council for the Reclamation of Germany's debts to Greece is also stepping up his demand for a formal peace treaty with Germany.
The Germans know that as soon as they sign a peace treaty with Greece, they need to pay what they owe. That's why they won't sign. So they asked us to sign a non-aggression pact instead, which we unfortunately agreed to do. Why won't they sign a peace treaty? We call on them to do so. Let's forget everything else. As soon as they sign, they will have to pay.
Greece has reclaimed its independence, but many here believe its sovereignty remains in question while it fails to exact repayment for past wrongs. Psaropoulos, Al Jazeera, Athens.